The time is just gone, 8:56 a.m. We continue this morning looking at Crime Talk with eThekwini Secure. Imtiaz Syed, I know he's en route somewhere. Only he knows where, but we'll join him in a second. I see Imtiaz on view there. Imtiaz, assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh and welcome.
Assalamu alaikum.
Walaikum salam, Imtiaz. I see you on the road and already. As, but we are obviously we get. I'm hoping that you are stationary at this point in time.
That's correct, yes.
Oh, okay, fine. Imtiaz, welcome to the show as always. And yeah, just looking at our weekly discussions that we've been having, and we've been unpacking a lot of issues. And for me, I still think at some point in time, I'm looking at you know uh, communities, looking at patrollers. And this is something that we want to talk about this morning: community in blue patrollers. I mean, what
Correct.
are we talking about? Are we talking about communities in uniform?
Well, when you really look at it, yes, to a certain degree, and no, to a certain degree as well. So, what it really is it's a direct SAPS program. It doesn't really fall within the ambits of the Community Policing Forum. It's a direct SAPS program. So, just so we can understand, it's sort of a mini reservist. You don't really go for training, you just go for a security clearance to make sure that you don't have a criminal record. And then you go through a vetting process, a little bit of brief training, and then you get partnered with the police in terms of saying, you are now, like, for example, your neighborhood watch, you then convert it into a community blue patrolling team. And with that, it becomes force multipliers per se. So it was there to basically take care of the issues that we were facing within neighborhood watches. And it's not necessarily when we see neighborhood watches that they are aligned to the CPF. The CPF is basically a platform by which there is discussion and debate around crime issues. But neighborhood watches and community in blue is direct active community policing. Now, how do they fit together? And this was the challenge that the CPFs faced, is that how do you now create a different organism of the state that now fits the ambits of the CPF? And we clarified that understanding to say that the CPF is more a think tank. It's there to provide safety and security and understanding. However, Community in Blue is actively working with police on the ground in shifts directed by the shift commanders that are available.
Yes, this is actually quite important to understand because, when one looks at the understanding or the relationship between the police services and community policing forums, I'm sure, this is, in fact, it's got a lot more consequences, I would say, for communities if or they try to actually play the role that the SAPS is supposed to play and mandated as such, Imtiaz.
Correctly so, and that was one of the challenges highlighted by SAPS to say that when neighborhood watches are operating, I mean, what does the law say about a citizen just stopping and doing whatever they wanted to in terms of saying that they believe a crime is being committed? So therefore, the SAPS has opened their arms and said, let us take them in instead of pushing them away and saying you can't do that. Let's take these real spears of our society, and let's take them and let's enhance them and let's capacitate them and facilitate a process by which we can work with them, because ultimately SAPS is clear in understanding that they will not eradicate crime without the assistance of community. And the more mobilization we have on the streets, the more we're going to eradicate crime and we're going to take care of things within our communities.
And also, to a large extent, that will relieve the burden on SAPS, Imtiaz.
Correctly so. You see, the thing is, I mean, if you look at any police station area, right, how many vehicles do they have? And the mandate that they have is to patrol any particular street within a time frame of an hour. Now, is that happening at the moment? No, it isn't, because of resources and many different things. I don't want to go into that because that's a separate kettle of fish and a can of worms to open. However, if we have mobilized communities in every single area, remember, the idea of community in blue or patrolling or CPF is not really sitting in a meeting. It's a mindset. It's about how you associate yourself in community. Everywhere you go, you become part of this initiation or this initiative that speaks to crime fighting And that automatically prevents crime because you're now in a state of awareness continuously. And that's something that we all, unfortunately, have to normalize within our societies because we cannot no longer sit and be oblivious to the reality of what's happening on the ground. Everyone needs to be sensitized around crime because crime comes from within our communities. And the thing we need to understand as community is that SAPS is there, but they are not the criminals. I'm saying that in jest. Yes, there are a few, whatever. I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about crime in itself comes from within our communities, irrespective of which community we come from, what is the race demographic, what is the affluency rate, all of that doesn't matter. There are criminals in every single community. And if we don't start standing up to them, then they tend to become a burden to society in general. And that is the ideology by which these things are now coming to fore.
Well, Imtiaz, we will follow up on this, and I'm sure there's a lot more that you can, unpack with us on this particular aspect. But for now, shukran and drive safely. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Walaikum salam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Imtiaz Syed joining us this morning, Chairperson of eThekwini Secure. Are we heading for the news? We've got Zaid Jedward standing by.